you guys! So I finally am getting around to doing my first video for my YouTube channel. Yay! So awesome. So just in case you guys are just tuning in and you're new to my channel, my name is Sarah. I go by Evil Cupcake Girl. And today's video is going to be about the movies that were superhero comic book action related that came out in 2014 that I saw and that I was a fan of. I didn't see all of them, unfortunately, because I've been very busy this past year. So I'm just going to do say the title and then say one thing I liked about it and one thing I disliked about it, which I'm pretty picky, so you guys might get mad at me for picking apart all these awesome movies. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to do a list of the movies that I'm excited for that are coming up next year and a couple of years after that. So here we go. If I keep looking at my lap, it's because I have this written down because I have a terrible memory. So my lovely, disgusting handwriting. I'm hoping I'm going to actually be able to read this so you guys will know what's going on. Alright, so starting. Alright. The first movie is Captain America the Winter Soldier. Where to begin? One thing I like about that movie, I can't even think of just one thing that I like about that movie. That movie was so perfect. I've always been a huge fan of Captain America. My stepdad is actually really a superhero buff, and Captain America is like his top favorite. The one thing I'll have to say that I really liked about it, and everybody's gonna call me a typical fangirl, but I liked the sensual friendship tension between Natasha Romanoff, or Black Widow, and Steve Rogers, or Captain America. I could just feel it radiating off the screen. It was just like you were watching them and they were like there, and it was too much. I think that was kind of something that I disliked also, because you're like on the edge of your seat and it's like, kiss already, and then they did, but it wasn't the kind of kiss we were expecting. I know, we were hoping for like a, bedroom scene, but that didn't happen, sadly. Maybe the next movie they'll do something like that. Next, the thing that I disliked about it was, while I thought the fighting was amazing because Captain America has this unique style of his own, I was kind of disappointed with Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. I was disappointed with his fighting style because it was the same 3 tactical moves over and over again. And I understand that is a great kind of, fighting style to have, and I understand him having that kind of fighting style because it was, he was in the army, and they do kind of teach you a certain set of combat style, but you would have thought that he would have, in his training, his brainwashing, that they would have given him a little bit more, complex battle styles to work with. But it was basically just defense, then he would pull out his knife, and then he would try his gun, and then Captain America would knock his gun away, and then he'd go back to defensive, and then he'd try to pull out his knife, and it just kept going over and over and over again while, Steve is doing backflips off the wall and jumping with his shield in the air like the amazing person he is. So that's Captain America. The next one is Amazing Spider-Man 2. I am sorry, you guys, but I hated Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, and I think you all can agree with me on that. He was awkward, but it was too awkward. Spider-Man in the comic books is very charismatic. He's very sarcastic. He's, kind of an asshole. I hope I can say that on YouTube. I'm not sure. I'll have to look up these laws about what I can say and what I can't say. If not, I'm sorry. But he was just, that's what I liked about the movie. His name is Andrew. Andrew Garfield. I was thinking of Alex, a different person from a different movie. It's an anime, and it's not a movie. It's an anime, and it's about 2 gay guys. Anyway, we're not going there. Andrew Garfield from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, who played Spider-Man. He was just so perfect for that role. He was just charismatic enough, but just like awkward enough. He had just that little bit of twinge of, I don't really know how to handle social situations, and it was just perfect. The one thing I disliked, there were actually quite a few things I disliked. One, the grid, the power grid that Max, the guy that turned into the blue glowy guy, I don't know his name, I'm sorry, don't hate me. It said it was an electromagnetic. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's run off of battery powers. or electricity. Like, it's not self-sustaining like they were trying to make it sound. And also the fact that they used electric eels for a power source, and they made the eels glowy and sparkly. Electric eels don't glow and sparkle. They're very bland and very ugly, and they don't maliciously attack people when they fall into tanks with them. They would scatter. You know, you drop something into a fish tank, fish don't go and attack it, unless they're betta fish, but those things are cannibals. So anyway, that was the one main thing I disliked, was how that scientifically did not make sense. And I'm not a science geek. But anyway, alright, moving on. Guardians of the Galaxy. That movie. I cried 4 times. I'm in the theater, and I cried 4 times. And I'm not talking about little cute sweet tears. I cried, like bawling my eyes out. And the thing I loved about it was they were just such misfits. You know, they didn't have any, you know, organized way of going about things. It was even worse than in the Avengers, when nobody knew what the hell was going on half the time. You know, everybody's just doing their own thing, going crazy, getting shot. But Guardians of the Galaxy, it was like they were so dysfunctional that it worked. They all brought something to the table, and it was just perfect. And I cried so hard when Groot said, "We are Groot." I just can't. It even makes me want to tear up now thinking about it, because it was just so heartwarming that he cared for little asshole Rocket and everybody there, and he wanted to save them and sacrifice himself. And then baby Groot. Who doesn't love a little baby dancing tree, dancing to the Jackson 5? Come on now. The one thing I did not like about it, was there anything I didn't like about it? I'm not sure. No? Oh, God, yes. Marvel always does an ending, like a secret ending, and everybody was leaving the theater, and all us Marvel buffs were, you know, sitting in the seats like, these losers, they don't know what's going on. The ending was terrible. Whatever that space duck dude that collector had, and apparently my dad said there's used to be like some TV, like vintage TV show about him. That was like the worst Marvel ending ever. Shame on you guys. It was so boring and so it was just terrible. I had to pee because I didn't want to leave the movie because I was so excited about it, and I had to pee, and I could have gone pee instead of watching that terrible ending. So thank you, Marvel, for making me hold my pee, because that was not very nice of you. Anyway, that's a silly thing not to like about a movie, is the secret ending, but whatever. Alright, the next one, it's not a superhero movie, really, I guess. It is a comic, kind of, but it's more of like a bad guy movie, I guess you could classify it as. I'm just going to say it, Godzilla. You know, I liked it because I saw Pacific Rim, and those monsters, you know, they made me feel nostalgic because they made me think of Godzilla. And again, my stepdad is really into those kinds of movies. And when I was 8, we used to watch Godzilla together, like the old Godzilla, like black and white, you know. It was terrible acting. You could tell it was a toy waddling across into there, you know, like stepping on the town. But this Godzilla was so good. It was just so good. And the guy from Breaking Bad was in it. Can't think of his name, but the meth head, well, they're all meth heads, but the bald meth head, oh my gosh, it was just so amazing, and I couldn't believe it, how good it was. Like the sound effects that they did for like the noise that Godzilla makes, it was on par. Like if I could have imagined it in my head, like with better sound engineering, that would have been it. It was perfect. The one thing I didn't like about it was, hi cat. This is my cat. I don't know if you can see him, but he's about to be in the shot. Yeah. I don't think there was anything that I didn't like about the Godzilla movie. Just, I mean, there's probably things that were wrong with it that I would notice if I watched it a second time, but it was just so nostalgic for me that I couldn't help it. I loved everything about it. So there's that. Next is my favorite movie of 2014. I'm sorry, you guys are going to hate me, but it was The Hobbit. Or you may love me for this, if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, like I am. It was so beautiful. Those movies are just beautiful. Everything about them, the characters and the sets and the story and the music. Oh my god, the singing. Have you ever heard a movie that has such beautiful singing? Like, I love, like, elven songs and Irish type Scottish music, like those ballads. They are just beautiful, and it had amazing music. The one thing I didn't like about it was actually how Bilbo mispronounced Smaug. And I don't know if it's just because that's his accent and that's how he chose to say it and they just kept it, but he didn't say Smaug, he said Smaug. Like, what is a Smaug? There is no Smaug, it's Smaug. Smaug. Need, like, pronunciation lessons. Smaug. But I just, every time, and now I walk around saying it like Smaug because it just sounds weird and it makes me laugh. But it's completely wrong. So anyway, or maybe that is how it's supposed to be pronounced and we've just been saying it wrong the whole time. Anyway, alright, to wrap up this movie, because I don't want it to be like 20 minutes long, I'm going to do the movies that I'm excited for that are coming up. Captain America 3. I am obsessed with Captain America, as I said in the beginning, and I cannot wait. It's coming out in 2016, and that is too long to wait for more Chris Evans. That is too long. Much too long. So, hopefully he does other movies before that, so I'll get to see some of them. Avengers Age of Ultron, which is of course coming out in 2015. I am so excited for that because they have the guy from Kick-Ass in it that played Kick-Ass, and I am a huge fan of him. That movie was another movie that I just, right there, right in my heart. Batman vs. Superman. Me and my stepdad are excited for that, and it's coming out in 2016. And we've just always, like, you know, the Justice League mashups, like Batman vs. Superman, Bad Superman versus Good Superman, you know, stuff like that. We've just always loved those, so we're really excited for that. And then The Amazing Spider-Man 3, which is coming out in 2018. I can't get mad because The Amazing Spider-Man 2 just came out, but still, I want more Spider-Man, please. Come on. And now that Gwen is dead, these are spoilers. I really hope you've seen all of these movies because this is spoilers, all of them. Now that Gwen is dead, I am so interested to see how, like, Peter Parker and Spider-Man, both of them, you know, combined, are going to get through this because, you know, if you've ever lost somebody that you love, you understand that you don't move on from that. You don't. It's always there, and I wonder if that's going to affect, you know, Spider-Man's ability to perform how he needs to, you know, saving people and stuff like that, what superheroes do. The Flash. I'm excited for that movie. I am. It's coming out in 2016. I like the idea of a guy going really, really fast in spandex. You didn't hear that. Deadpool. I love the Merc with a mouth. You know, he goes beyond sarcasm. Like the video game trailers for the Deadpool game, it's just like, he is so perfect. And if they don't cast Ryan Reynolds as him, if they put somebody else in that role, I'm going to go there and I'm going to hurt somebody. I will be so mad. But anyway, and then supposedly there is a rumored Black Widow movie. All the ladies of the superhero world, and even the men, or whatever gender you are, I don't care, but mostly us ladies are rooting for a kick-ass Black Widow movie because they don't make very many, you know, good super women movies. And I think there's a rumored Wonder Woman that's coming out too, but they're not sure when. But if they do a Black Widow movie and we find out what happened in Budapest, and there is some sexy smaxy stuff going on between Hawkeye and Black Widow, this girl right here will be very happy. Right here, very happy. So, I hope this video wasn't too long and you actually watch it. If not, I'm so sorry. But anyway, I am Evil Cupcake Girl, and that is my superhero movie review for 2014. So, peace out, you guys.